Okay. Hopefully, we'll see how this goes. Can you see me okay? Can you hear me okay? Hello, Nora dear. Wow, I think the color looks better. Um, I don't know if I've got the angle right, but we'll figure it out. Mike bought me a new phone, so this is the first real chance doing a live with it. It's real weird trying to figure out the orientation of the camera because the old phone, the camera is up in the corner, but this one, the camera is here in the center. So, hello, Linda from Michigan. Nora's here. Sherry's here. Marilyn's here. Val's here. Hi, everybody. Oh, you hear me talking. You want to come say hello? Come past the box of Triscuits. Come here. Come on. Come on. No, you can't have the silver paper. No. Come say hello. This is Elrond. Say hello, Elrond. I haven't seen you most of the day. Where have you been hiding? Where were you hiding? And why are your feet wet? Where were you? Where were you? Were you playing in the water bowl again? Were you playing in the water bowl, putting all the water all over the kitchen floor? You little stinker. Yeah. You didn't want to leave my side once I got home from the hospital. No. No, you didn't. You wanted to just stay, didn't you? But it was better that I didn't have you sleep with me. Isn't he gorgeous? The other two, well, two of the others are black, and then two are this wonderful, wonderful shade of gray. And the two that are gray, they have the softest fur of any kitten. While at the ER, there's always one before you even get into triage. There's always somebody that takes your blood pressure, your oxygen, your pulse, and all that. Well, she found out that I have kittens, so I have to get a photo to her. She's interested in Arwen. So keep your fingers crossed that we may have a home for Arwen because this young lady, go ahead, go play with your brother. She right after Thanksgiving ended up having to put down her 19-year-old cat, and she was just heartbroken because she's always had cats even as a little girl, and she wanted to get a kitten but knew that the time with the Christmas tree being up wasn't the time to do it. So she said, Lord, you just fell into my lap. And I'm like, okay. If it works out, great. Because it'd be great if we could find a home for at least Arwen. I really want to get Arwen out of here. Because, she's outnumbered. The doctor won't be her friend. The doctor really won't be the friend of any of them. And she's by herself with 4 rambunctious boys. So it'd be nice if she had a home. Because Mike has an opportunity where he might be moving in the spring, and so he wants to keep Aragorn as well and take Gimli and Aragorn with him. And so that would leave me with Frodo, Arwen, and Elrond. And the doctor. That's still 2 cats too many, as far as I'm concerned. All things considered. So. But if I can at least get Arwen a home, because as Arwen gets bigger, she and the doctor are going to have more issues, because the doctor does not tolerate a female cat being near me very well at all. Now Arwen's still small, and so the doctor she doesn't attack her, but I know the outside cats. She used to chase her. Rory, the one outside cat, is the doctor's sister, and she would not let me bring her in. She just fought like hell with her, and would chase her off the property and chase her away. And so now there's kind of an uneasy truce. And of the 2 kittens that had shown up in the fall, the tortoiseshell one has been back, but I don't think the doctor's seen that one. I scared the daylights out of the poor thing when I didn't know it was in the styrofoam cooler, and I haven't seen it since. But that's the one that the doctor uh, went after and attacked. So it might be another female. She just will not tolerate another female anywhere near me. And I'm just been biding my time watching because I am afraid that if Arwen gets full grown and is still here, then we'll have fighting issues. So, fingers crossed. So, I might as well get the update out of the way. Yes, for those of you who know me on Facebook or on Instagram, and saw that little post, I was at the ER. I've been having some back pain that I assumed was from where the pinched nerve is. But I got my trigger point injections, and the back pain is higher than where all of that usually is, because all of that is usually below the small of my back, and heading for my tailbone. But all this was like up here in my back, just under the rib cage. Well, that's where your kidneys are. So, among a few other things. So, I didn't think anything of it, and I got the trigger point injections, and they take a couple of days to really work everything out. I gave it a week and realized the pain is still there, and it's getting worse. And it got bad enough that I finally went to urgent care to get looked at because being on hydrochloroquine and naproxen, both of them can do harm to your kidneys. You have to be very careful. Both of them can cause kidney stones. So I've always made sure that I drank plenty of water. I made sure that I have had a salad every day because the other problem with high levels of naproxen for too long is it can mess up your system, and then your system's not going to want to let things go. So to keep yourself from that problem, you got to make sure you drink plenty of water and have plenty of roughage in your diet. The benefit of all this is that since I got hurt, I've dropped 19 pounds and kept it off, which is fantastic. In the year and 3/4 since I had that original fall that pinched the nerve, yeah, I've lost 19 pounds and kept it gone, which is fantastic. But they ruled out kidney infection. There's no signs of that. But there's blood where there shouldn't be blood. So we're not sure if they did a CAT scan. There's one tiny little dark spot that may or may not be a stone. The other alternative is to get checked by an OBGYN, which I have yet to find one. In my area, in Delco, they are in very short supply. And now to find one that actually takes the as my brother calls it, the poor people insurance, that takes that, then that's another challenge. But I'm still working on it, because sometimes the ones listed as taking Keystone First here in PA, you call their office and you find out that they don't, or that they only take so many and they're full. So fingers crossed for that too, that I can get that taken care of, and we double check to make sure that it's not any problem, because I still have some pain, and I don't know what I felt at 10:03 tonight, but I went this way and rolled over and felt like something popped. So hopefully it's nothing major, but I am going to definitely follow up, and I am keeping an eye on that, because whatever that feeling was, the pain is absolutely less. But I'm also not feeling any nausea. I'm not feeling anything I would like if it were a hernia that popped. You'd know it from the pain level. So keep me in your prayers. Keep kind thoughts going. It is very likely to have to be a cyst somewhere along, probably considering that it's up near the kidneys. It's very likely to be a cyst on, and forgive any guys who don't know anything about female anatomy, it's very likely to be a cyst on an ovary, which for women is a very important part, but you don't want cysts on those. It can be dangerous. But I've had them before, just never that high up. Years, like years ago. So fingers crossed, prayers given, good thoughts coming. I'm feeling better. Yesterday, some of you I know had to have seen that little short I did and laughed your heads off at me. You had to have. I'm laying in bed and I'm like, I have to let them know I'm still going to be live. I have to let them know. My brain, okay, now keep in mind, they gave me something called Toradol. And then because of the CAT scan, the doctor kept insisting they were going to put me in head first. And I'm highly claustrophobic. And I said, no, you're not. And he said, fine, and we'll give you something. I don't even remember what he gave me, but it made me completely loopy. And it was still completely loopy when I woke up yesterday. So not only did I say, oh yeah, I'll be live tonight. That was on Wednesday. No, I'm not going to be live on Wednesday. I'll be live on Thursday. But I said the wrong cat. When I posted it, I said it was Aragorn. Idiot. Don't even know my own cat at that point. That was Elrond that was laying on top of me. I can look at it now and laugh, but I got a text message from somebody going, you better take a good look at what you just posted. And I'm thinking, oh God, what did I swear and not catch it and or say something? And then I watched it and just laughed, gave myself a good laugh, but I didn't see it until a couple hours later and then fixed it. At least fixed it in the description that no. I was still loopy. I can't stand RER. And without having a car, there was no way that I could go to one of the further ERs. Mike took me to urgent care. We had running around. We got his car to the collision center. We got other stuff done that morning. And I kept saying, this thing still is really hurting me. And he's like, well, look, I don't have to be at work till 2. It's 11 in the morning. Let's just get you. We got the car down there. Let's just get you to urgent care. So we go to urgent care. And that's all well and good. And they do, tests. And they're like, okay, well, the good part is there's no bacteria. But the bad part is there's all these things it could be. And some of them are quite dangerous. So you need to go get your kidneys checked at the ER. We'll send a note so that they should take you right in because this is dangerous. This is urgent. That note didn't do crap. They looked at it, didn't do anything about it, and then proceeded to leave me sit there in the waiting room. I was there from somewhere between 1:15, 1:30. So we'll just say 1:30. And it was 3:30 before anybody took my blood pressure, did the basic vitals, the blood pressure, the oxygen rate, and the pulse. So I'm already there for 2 hours before anybody even looked at that. I'm there for another hour before anybody takes me into triage and runs me down about what are you here for? She again takes the blood pressure, but she takes it on this arm and can't understand why it's so different from this arm. I'm not thinking because I'm hurting too much. This is the side I had the stroke on. This side, the blood pressure will always be higher. The numbers are real wonky when they do blood pressure on that side. So if you ever have or have had a stroke, have them double check sometime. Double check with one of your doctors. Have them do your blood pressure on each arm just to see if, because for me, they are vastly different. Enough where The bottom number on this side was a 90, and the top number was a 111, and the other side was, more normal, much more normal. But they're like, the numbers shouldn't be that close. There's something wrong. There have been other times where the blood pressure on this side has been higher than the blood pressure on this side. And they're going, "Oh my God, your blood pressure's so high." I'm like, yeah, no, do it over here. And they're like, "Oh, well, that's normal. How can that?" And I'm like, stroke, messes up the arm. So yeah, it's kind of crazy, but yeah, it's one of the things that I guess they just don't tell you about. I said something about it to a friend, and she went back and asked her dad, and he's like, "Oh yeah, they don't tell you about that." I'm like, he's got it too. He's got it too. Same thing is that it's down the arm. So hello. So let's see who came in. Bonnie's creative gift ideas is here. Steph is here. Hello, darling. Marianne's here. Did I miss anybody from earlier? So yeah, and so that's a thing they don't tell you about. But I'm just so happy to know, though. It was such a scare for me because, the phrase acute renal failure did cross my mind, especially when that's one of the reasons urgent care went, you need to go to the ER now. There are some drugs that if you've been on them 24/7, high doses for over a year, it can do damage to the kidneys. And you may not know there's damage until you suddenly have real big problems. So we can rule that out, thank goodness. They're not sure what the dark spot on the kidney is yet, but we're going to follow up with that as well. But like I said, that could just be a tiny little stone, but it doesn't. I've had a kidney stone in the past. Kidney stones are extremely sharp pain. This ain't that. This is not that. Kidney stone, every time you move, you feel it, and every time it moves, you feel a sharp pain. So yeah, nope. So wrong box, all good. so we'll see. I am better. I still have some of the pain. I have lidocaine patches to put on my back. And basically just take Tylenol. But the big thing is to keep hydrated, keep flushed, and keep trying to find an OBGYN to make sure it's not the ovaries, since the kidneys seem to be clear. See, I got my big thing of water. This isn't what this says. This is Aldi's has these. Fuji water. I love Fuji apples. Absolutely love them. And they had this at no, this is at Walmart, but Aldi's has the actual Fuji apples. Patty Paws, hello. Juanita, hi. Oh, Kathy, your son has the same problem? Yeah, nobody ever told me that. But then when I was in the ER that time, I couldn't get my local ER at Crozier they wouldn't even look at me. They just they left me sit in the waiting room by the time and when I had the stroke, and I left. I said, screw this, and I had my brother take me after 4 hours sitting there to the point where I could no longer speak, and I'm drooling and I'm seeing spots of stars in my eyes, and I can't move my arm at all. And I'm like, screw this. And I'm like, wrote a note to him, said, take me to Taylor. We get up to Taylor, they take me right to the back, and then the idiot doctor I get there keeps telling me, you're 50, you took something, you're too young. You're 50, you're too young to have had a stroke. What idiots. Why do I keep finding idiots? Oh, honestly, if I could move out of this area, man, Lancaster County's looking really good. Somewhere around Chambersburg would be good. But boy, around it, having a hospital in an urban area. They are overwhelmed, underfunded, and a hot mess, especially their ERs. So, but I'm here. I'm doing well. I've been extremely careful. Uh, I was still loopy yesterday, so I couldn't do anything. And this afternoon, I slept until I think I slept until 11, and I've been kind of slow moving because I don't want to aggravate anything. So I did manage to find a few things tonight. Yes, Nancy is the right name. You got it. Oh, Catitude is here. Hey, Stacy May. And so I do have a few things. It's as usual with what I find in this house. It's an odd mix. Um, the thumbnail was this wonderful. I've been saving this for an animal sale, but I decided I'd put it up tonight. This wonderful vintage. It's a bank with the 3 Saint Bernards. And if any of you saw my Instagram, okay, guys, I think she's the creepiest looking face. Look at that face. Where's that camera? There's the camera. I'm gonna eat your soul. Doesn't that look creepy? That is like the creepiest frozen Charlotte I've ever seen. It's the eyes. It's the eyes. It's the eyes. She's going to eat your soul. Where was she for Halloween, right? Where was she for Halloween? She would have been awesome to have for Halloween. So let's put the old phone up there. I did something too with the new phone so there are some things I did not download to the new phone. TikTok is one of them. TikTok's only on this phone. I can't make phone calls other than 911 or anything. That's the old phone, but I can still get on the internet with it. But I thought, you waste a lot of time with that. So, and other things. So, there's a couple things. There's 2 games. I used to do Wordscape, which I liked, but I thought, no, I'm not doing that one. I didn't download that to the new phone, and I didn't download TikTok to the new phone. And Michael laughed at me. There is a Harry Potter mystery game. He said, I can't believe you downloaded that one. I'm like, oh yeah, because I'm almost done. You only have so many years that you're at Hogwarts, and I'm in year 7 and halfway through that. So, right? Oh yeah, and stroke is a big one. There's no age limit for stroke. Hello, Amelia. Or Midge, right? You want to be called Midge. I'm learning. I'm slow, but I'm learning. So, oh, we got 40 here. Hello. So, so we have, for those of you who've not been here for a while, because I see some names I haven't seen in a little bit, I have a lot of new stuff set up on my channel. I do still have super stickers. I have super chat. I have memberships now. The basic $1.99 level gets you these cool little owl emojis to play with. And then for the fairy realm, you get videos, and Nora can tell you, hi, Melinda, that not only do you get all the drop sales 24 hours in advance, but you also will get, because my old camera could only film like 12, maybe 15 minutes at a time. So instead of doing the videos that way and having to keep drop them into the laptop and edit, I would just do live with the Fairy Realm members. So the chats on the Fairy Realm videos are just me and Nora talking back and forth to each other. She's a lonely little fairy, but that'll change in time. Hi, TML. So there's Fiona. Fiona, I still haven't watched that. I have it on my to-watch list. Fiona was on Sandy and Otto one night. She was there with Trisha. So I had to have it on my to watch list, but I haven't done that yet. So, uh-oh. What are you doing? Y'all better not be stealing anything else from out of that pantry. So help me. Well, I know it's not you. Where's Frodo? So, apparently, I went to bed last night. I was in bed by midnight. Mike got home just after that. And I was just starting to doze off. And I hear him go, "What did you idiots do now?" And I'm like, "Oh, man." And then I thought, do I want to get up or do I just want to sleep? No, I want to sleep. He's a big boy. He's 28. He's got to learn about cat ownership that, you know what? Sometimes you got to clean up after him. He could deal with it. Well, in the morning I found out that one of them had gotten off a shelf high up, not too high up because I'm short, but on a shelf in the pantry had been a bag that was cornbread mix to make cornbread muffins. But since our oven doesn't work, the only one I know that likes to steal things and rip them open is Frodo. Frodo got himself a whole bag of dental chew treats because he stole them and ripped it open and ate them all. Uh, so, so, uh, so I'm guessing it was Frodo, but he drug it to the bottom of the stairs and ripped the whole corner off of it. And luckily, they must have just done it because that wasn't there when I went to bed. And I literally had gone up to bed at best because I went upstairs and I went right to bed. So Mike came in about 20 minutes later. So they had just done it. So luckily, it wasn't the entire bag ripped all over everything, but one of them had ripped a little corner off the bag and it was all over the bottom step and all over the floor in the hallway. And I like right away said, "Yep, Frodo. Frodo's the thief." He's done that with the cup of noodles. You can't have them around because Frodo will rip them open, and then Aragorn tries to eat the noodles. Egg noodles. I now have a Tupperware to keep egg noodles in. Because Frodo, again, I heard crunchy, crunchy, crunchy in the kitchen one day and realized that he had pulled it off the shelf and had ripped it open and was eating them. He's just something else. He loves pasta raw and will crunch at it. So it's all in Tupperware now that Mike bought for me. How did the dragon wings work out? Oh my. Well, the dragon wings have not been adjusted yet because for that to happen, we need somewhere to set up Mike's sewing machine. So once they're set up, the dragon wings will have to be made smaller. For those who don't know what Nora and I are smiling about, is that they were like 75% off, so they were super cheap. But they're these wonderful metallic fabric dragon wings for your pet. It was meant to be a Halloween costume, but it's a harness basically. Well, as big as Gimli is, it still is too big, and he somehow managed. Mike got it around. It has a way where you put their front feet in the holes, and then you put the other part around their waist and around their middle, and you pull that shut with Velcro. Well, Gimli, before Mike could get it around his waist, somehow managed to get his front legs out of the holes and through the neck part. So he had it just like wrapped around from like chest to tummy and then didn't know what to do. Which is there's a short of Mike with Gimli like running around his feet with the wings on. And we had to stop and go, how are we getting him out of this? We finally got him out because I had to pick him up and just hold him this way while Mike came over and just carefully slid the thing right down him and off his feet. So That was the way we got it off of him, but the dragon wings still have to be adjusted, and the harness for taking him out for outside on the lawn is the same way. It's too big. It needs to be sewn to be adjusted because the harness to take him outside actually has nice little clips, but you can't make them small enough. I can't shorten the little straps anymore. Then it's still too big. I hear somebody. Hi. What you doing? You gonna come around the TARDIS and come say hello, Aragorn? Are you gonna come say hello too? No, we're gonna play the floor is lava and we're gonna go that way. Okay. I knew I heard somebody. Did y'all see a flash of gray? Okay, we won't stretch like that. Oh. Oh. It reminds me, that's for tonight's sale. Yeah, I still have those two hernias to deal with too. And one of them just made their presence known again when I moved the wrong way. So, who's it? Ronald, hello. Oh, thank you for coming. So, I set up in my calendar on the new phone that a sale will be, because I'm trying to be more organized and really get this going. I've got to get my PA reseller's license since this is going to be my job now. And that's a little scary because I've seen quite a few of the smaller channels say that, well, they've gone and had to get a day job. And I'm not in that position where I can do that because I can't lift more than 10 pounds. So this has to be it. But I am taking steps towards that. And one of the things is to keep it more organized. There were times when I had to really shift around which Thursday was going to be the live sale. So this is the first one, and I have it every other week. There'll be always be a live, usually on a Thursday night at 11. Every other week will be a sale for now. If as things get more organized here, I hope that changes so that can become every week and there'll be more drop sales. But for now, it's every other, you can mark your calendars. It's every other Thursday starting tonight is a live sale, but every Thursday I will be live. And if I'm not going to be live, I usually don't throw up some short little video telling you why I'm not going to be there. But I have that set all the way up to the middle of July. Now, the reason I couldn't set that schedule for the entire year is because I'm an assistant scoutmaster with Boy Scouts. I don't know the date for summer camp yet, and I'll be gone for a whole week. So I have to find out that date and make sure it's verified, and then I can go past that because I'm not missing summer camp. I took an epidural shots in the spine in 2021 to be able to go to summer camp. That was a very painful summer camp too, but boy, I don't regret going because that's my stress relief for the year usually is summer camp. Keeps me sane. Now they had their first scout meeting on Wednesday, but I wasn't able to go. And they don't really know, though one of my fellow assistant scoutmasters, Matt does tend to watch the channel, so Matt probably knows now that I wasn't there because I had been in the ER. So some of them may know now. So, hey, Proud Americans here. Hello. Thank you for stopping in. Who's back there doing what they shouldn't be doing? No paper. No paper. You know, it's funny that they actually listen when I say that. Not sure which one it is. It's going to be one of the gray ones. Arwen and Aragorn both have a bad habit. They like to shred paper. I'm in a house full of paper. Usually though it's newspaper. I think it's the ink. They don't like I don't think they like the smell of the ink, or there's something about the smell of the ink that kind of gets to them, and they try to shred it. Oh, proud American. I'm so sorry. Well, if you live near, I'd let you adopt one of mine. So fingers crossed though that nurse and I get together and she takes Arwen. Um, so yeah, it's hard to. I mean, animals, for those of us that have animals, they're part of the family, so it is hard. Even if you have to rehome them, you still keep tabs on them, and it's not easy. So as usual, I'm not quite a little bit not quite ready for this sale, but I am kind of ready for the sale. In that I at least have stuff, but I don't have prices written out yet for everything. Hang on. Back spasm. That I know what I'm dealing with. That's the pinched nerve. That I know what I'm dealing with. I'll take that any day. I will take that any day. So yeah, it just was a pinched nerve spasm in the back. I'm I'm out of sequence right now for the medications because I have to take the naproxen with food, and they're good for like 12 hours. Um so that's a challenge because of being at the ER for so long and then sleeping as much as I have to get what they gave me out of my system. I'm all out of kilter. So I now would have to eat something at 2 a.m. to take the naproxen. So yeah, because I'm just out of kilter with it. And so I didn't take one at 2 this afternoon because I was going to try to get back on track, and then I opted for taking a 1 hour nap instead, and that was probably a stupid thing to do. But I didn't want to yawn my way through talking to you guys. Oh. Mm. Maria's here. I've been trying very hard not to buy, but Maria had the most beautiful scarf on her sale today. That is the kind I wear because in the winter. Now this one is a top that I got for Christmas. It has like little camping, like there's a little tent, there's an old school camper, those silver ones from the 50s, little tents, little mountains. But a lot of times I have these long rectangular scarves that I wear in my neckline, and then I'll tuck the ends down in the shirt, or I'll put a pin on it. I wear them all winter long in the house. I wear them around, and they're. I see so many that are geometrics, and I don't like them. Or they're animal prints, and I'm not real fond of leopard or I don't want a zebra around my neck. And she had the most gorgeous one with butterflies on it, so I splurged a little and got one. But Maria California Thrifter is another wonderful channel with great sales, and you never, like my stuff, you never quite know what she's gonna have. Let me find her channel. Whoops. You changed your thumbnail picture, dear. You shook me up there. I looked at that and went, that ain't the right one. Yes, it is. You shook me up there. Okay. There we go. There you go. Yeah, I've seen Patty Paws. I've seen over there. Hello, Lorna Wolfington. So, I forgot something when I said about the super chats, the membership. Oh, in the links in the description is not only the link for the memberships and all that, and the super chats, and there that little $sign that's underneath the chat window, the little thing that looks like a dollar bill. But you'll also see links for my eBay store, my Etsy store, which Etsy's not been restocked. I'm slowly getting stuff listed onto eBay. Some days it's just one item, but it's still, we all got to keep working on that. That's just, even if it's one thing a day that you deal with it and you get it going. But it's got the link for the Amazon wish list if you wish to help out with the cats, and a link for the Buy Me a Tea, which is from buymeacoffee.com. And they also have wish lists that you can, if you are so disposed, you can donate towards the 2 items I have on a wish list. So, what did you use your daughter's painted bunny for? Ominous. So, have a handkerchief. It's wrinkled from coming out. I used to iron these. Not now. Remember that as a kid, part of the ironing. Mom would have to have the ironing board is still set up in the pantry, and she'd iron all the shirts, she'd iron all the handkerchiefs, she'd iron Dad's handkerchiefs. I loved ironing handkerchiefs. It's just a flat square. It's the easiest thing in the world. So let's get going and looking at a couple of things here. Now, before I tuck this away for next Christmas, I thought I'd put this one out again. Now, this is not a first edition. The first edition looks just like this. Plain red binding, slim little book. And the first edition will also say copyright 1947, but it'll say first edition right there. This is Miracle on 34th Street. Come on, open up. By Valentine Davis. Isn't that cool? So if you would like what is probably a second printing, because back then they didn't use number lines inside to tell, but a first edition was always marked a first edition. And this one is not. This one is from 1947, but it is probably the second edition. But it is a nice clean copy. There is a little wear to the corners and to the edges, and the spine's got a little wear to it. But hey, it's a cool story. Oh, Patsy, you got your box of goodies. Yay. You're welcome. Well, it's the stuff, like I said, I am working on getting that backlog finished, and I went from 7-page packing list, 2 sides of each piece of notebook paper down to 4.5. So I was really working on that now this week. And well, basically since New Year's, I haven't done squat for packing because my health went no. So so that's so I'm still working on that to get everybody caught up. And so now I'm like to where I'm working on the, like some of the ones who it's been a while, but they have quite a size box coming to them. So, Miracle on 24th Street, the book on 24th Street. That's 34th Street. 34th. 24th is my street. Miracle on 34th Street. It's $6 and it's number 73. $6, number 73. That's right. I do what I can around the pain. It was very frustrating, and I know I know there's quite a few people that are still subscribed to me but don't come to the sales anymore because they're frustrated with me, and I don't blame them. But the majority of people have been very patient with me as they've watched this journey of me having to figure out what my new normal was with my spine, and have seen me be very frustrated. I see Marilyn first, but I'm in top chat. No. Let me refresh that. I didn't fix that to say. So, yep, I see Marilyn Rutledge. Thank you, Marilyn. Yeah, it's been a very, very frustrating 2022. Not being able to lift things, having to be so slow with everything. And I don't have the break of being able to go camping with my scouts anymore because I can't crawl into a tent. I can't kneel to get in there and then to get up because kneeling sets off a Charlie horse in my left leg. So I can't kneel. So it's been a wee bit of a frustrating 2022, but I finally grudgingly, as we got, around September, finally started accepting it and starting, and I had started in the beginning of the summer to really start figuring out ways to work around what the limitations are and to see, financially what I've got to do, because a lot of people said, oh, just go on disability. But if you've only ever worked retail, that's not really a big option for you because you'll run out of money. If you're only 57, you'll probably run out of money before, because don't you fall down, because you'll get a certain amount, but then at the same time, you're cutting into the capital a lot faster than you would. So for me, that's not something I wanted to do after I saw that, because though I've got things to be thankful for. The roof may leak, may have 2 raccoons getting in up there somewhere, but there's no mortgage. Stop falling over. You guys are hearing all that clanking. So I'll be thankful. My car may have died this year to the point where it's not worth repairing anymore, so I'm without a vehicle, but you know what? I live on a bus route. 352 starts 2.5 blocks that way. Straight on up, there's a bus that goes right from that corner, goes straight up into Brookhaven. Guess what? The post office is there, the CVS is there. If I have to, I can take it straight on up to the ShopRite or the Giant, or I can go down the hill here to Sam and Sam Meat Market. So, I can do this. I'm lucky to live in a spot where my not having a vehicle, the only thing it's going to be an issue for is a couple of doctors. So there's a few doctors might need to change to be where they're places I can get to. But one of them I've only met once. I have no problem changing cardiologist to somebody local. And the other, I don't like him anyway. So I have no problem changing him either. So yeah, it can take 2 years. And even then, for some people, you need a lawyer. And so it's and they may just go, well, you can lift 10 pounds, so therefore you should be able to work. But most places want to know that you can lift 30 or 40. And repetitive motions and having any weight and trying to lean forward, that's not happening. I can't even do that with a gallon of milk, which is why I had to give up Wawa, because there's no way I can grab the gallon of milk, put it in a bag, and then lift it up and put it forward to hand it onto the counter for the person. My back won't let me do that anymore. It's just no. So because the one disc is showing signs of being compressed, and you don't want that rupturing. Oh yeah, I love being in retail. And basically now, I mean, I'd have to be like I was before. I'd have to be like in a museum store or a card shop where there's nothing particularly heavy. Because for a while there I was a manager of a Hallmark store, and so it'd have to be something like that. But even then, I mean, at my age, people don't really want to. Took me 2.5 years or 3 to finally find a job after leaving the art museum, being downsized out there, to be in the Wawa. So it is definitely rough out there. So, and the sad part of it is like, they complain about, oh, there's jobs everywhere. Well, yeah, but some of them it's not worth the pay to do it. If it costs you more to get to work than you are making money, then it's not feasible. But at the same time, there's fewer in the population. People are having fewer and fewer kids. There's not really enough people for some of these jobs out there. And that's the jobs where, like, the fast food industry around here is always hiring. Well, it's because somebody my age is not going to do that. We physically can't keep up with it. And especially with my health issues. But at the same time, there aren't enough younger people to fill all the jobs. It's not that they don't want to work, it's that there just aren't enough of them, especially in my area. So yeah, for disability, most people need a lawyer. And right now, that isn't even on the list, on the table, in the notebook, however you want to put it. Or the roof first. Roof first. This past year, 2022's taxes did not all get paid. So now I've got them and 2023 to deal with. But I'll take care of it. Get that taken care of. We'll get it worked on. We'll get that done. But roof first. I'd like to not have to worry about water coming in from the 3rd floor roof to my 1st floor. Okay, let's see. Oh, these things. So I saw the most wonderful use for the little demi-tasse size coffee cups. Now, this is, I mean, it looks so simple, right? You may not be able to see the thin little lines here. So there's this thin little spot where they just ran something down to make it, each little line is flat. But look at how pretty it is. Now, this is Syracuse, China, made in America. Now, I did find this. This pattern is called Symphony. Now, on replacements.com, for just one cup and saucer. They want $43.99. Wow. I could not find any of the cup and saucer on eBay to find out what a more practical selling price is. I did see a bowl, like a cereal bowl kind of size, small, and that was not bad. I mean, just a single bowl was, I think it was $30. So it is very pretty and very nice, but I am going to see if anyone would like one of these for $8. Now, one of the things you can do with these little sizes is you don't have to have like really strong coffee or cappuccino or anything like that. Friends and I had gotten together. Some of us hadn't seen each other in a couple of years. And somebody got the idea for us girls, sounds so strange to me because most of my friends have always been guys all my life. But all us girls get together and have high tea. It was awesome and quite funny. And so I was looking around for ideas. I mean, I'm a long way from being able to host it, but I was just looking around for ideas of what to do. And I saw these cool things where they use these for aperitifs. Now, an aperitif is a liqueur dessert. Little tiny aperitif glasses are usually about as thick as your thumb and are about that high for the part you pour the drink into, and then usually have a glass stem. And it would be something like Bailey's Irish Cream, Kahlua. It would be usually it could be schnapps, but you would serve that as the dessert. Well, I saw somebody doing that with demi-tasse cup and saucers. They did, they had one that they made an eggnog custard in the little demi-tasse cups and then had just a little dollop of whipped cream and little bits of shaved chocolate on top. Another one had White Russian and Black Russian, which is an alcoholic drink, and they had that in the little demi-tasse cups. They did them as, I thought it was awesome that they did that as your dessert. I thought that was a brilliant use because you see these little things all over the place, but you don't ever see nobody thinks of using them because they immediately think of coffee. And so, oh, look, I think Fiona jumped on that right away. So yeah, it's $8 and it would be number 87. Like I said, I think Fiona's diving right in for that one. But I just thought that these were so pretty. And so I thought, well, I'm going to offer them to you guys. Okay, so Fiona wants one of these. If I find a set of these, I would probably now hang on to them, that I would be able to do that. But I just thought that would be so cool. I heard that and I'm like, there are man, Mr. Donovan's eggnog would have been great in a cup like this, because I swear he only put eggnog in that alcohol for coloring. Growing up, my best friend was Michael Donovan and Daria Maris. And Michael Donovan's dad, Big Daddy, used to make eggnog from scratch. No store-bought crap. From scratch. He would make eggnog. And it had enough alcohol in that to put hair on your chest, whether you wanted it there or not. And we would drink it, but we would drink like little bits like this. That was enough. By the time you were done even that, your tongue was numb. I never knew what he put into it. It was the strongest eggnog, spiked eggnog I've ever had in my life. It would have been perfect. Would have been perfect for this. We'll put that back there. So, but yeah, that was such a cool idea, and I thought I'm gonna snag that idea and hang on to that idea. But I would need a set of like, and I have to look. I mean, I may have aperitif glasses. Um, oh yeah, they have to store. I know they have to store everything, but they don't. You're better off selling your stuff on your own on eBay than selling to them. I had Martha Stewart dinner plates, never out of the box, other than one, and it turns out the suckers were so big, the dinner plates with the maidenhair fern pattern on it, that my kitchen cabinet door couldn't shut because from front to back it just was, the plates were too wide. You couldn't shut the door. So I was going to sell them, and other than that one, they weren't even out of the box that they were shipped in, and they said they'd give me $4 a plate, and I'm going, uh-huh. And you're at the time we're selling them on there for $120 a plate. No. I sold them on my own instead. So we are up to this little thing. Now, this is not a, yeah, isn't that crazy? This is, I love the frame, but the picture, there's a swan here and a swan here. She's got the stick, and then there's a little girl, a little boy, and I don't know if he's trying to put, oh, I see it. There's a duck. There's a duck way in the corner over here. He's got bread to give to the duck in his hand. It's such a cute little frame, and it has both this to stand out and this piece, which I've never used. I used to have this on my bookcase because I absolutely love the frame. But I'm going to offer this one up. I have another one which has a picture in it that I love more, but they came as a pair, and I wanted the redhead reading the book more than I wanted the kids with the boat. So, but I like little frames like this, but this is not the kind, if you wanted to put a different picture in there, you'd have to, this is all glued together. You'd either have to take this apart and re-glue it, or cut, like if you had a picture from a postcard or something, if you cut it exactly to the right size, you could just stick it in there. There's no glass. The neat part is when you see it, can you see the lines? Like, it's made to look like this is on canvas, and it kind of feels like it's on a piece of material. But there's little cross lines on it. And it's fantastic. It's a fantastic little frame. So I am offering this up. I didn't write it down. But I love, putting, I would put my books all the way to the back of the shelf, so there would be room sometimes, depending on the books, for stuff in front of them. And that way I would decorate my bookshelves. And that's why I like little stuff like this. And it had been there for a long time. So this lovely little, the frame alone is worth it, even if you're going to put a different picture in there. So this is $6 for the image. It is $6 and is number 84. $6.84. What did I just do with? Okay. Yeah, I love the frame. I've had it for quite a long time, but I was like, I also need to downsize some of my own stuff. So I thought I'd pass that one along if anyone was interested. Of Quick time for a water break. Oh, anytime that you ever have to go to an ER, take a bottle of water with you. I had a normal, this is an extra big thing. I had a normal size one that I'd gotten from urgent care. I emptied that thing every hour on the hour, and that saved me from having to, they were going to put an IV in me because they assumed I was dehydrated. And I went, oh, no, 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 no. And I see Val M for that. And when I told them that I had that, they're like, oh, okay, well then we won't do that to you then, because I was not having any more bruises than I already had. I'm surprised my hands aren't worse. There are there's 3 spots in this hand where they tried to stick an IV they tried to stick in to get the blood work. They blew 3 veins. They only got 1 of the 2 vials they needed. And then they got this hand, and this didn't bruise as badly. I don't even think you really can. There's a shadow under there. This one didn't bruise as much, but even that one blew. They just got the 1 vial they needed, and then the thing blew. I am a hard stick, and but even being hydrated, I'm a hard stick. Because otherwise, that's one of the first reasons they just assume people are dehydrated. And if you end up sitting there for 12 hours, I can guarantee you, if you're drinking a 12-ounce bottle of water every hour on the hour, you're not going to be dehydrated by the time they see you. So, but I found out from the doctor that he says, oh, everybody's usually dehydrated. That's why we just automatically stick it in. Even if we think we might be sending you home. And I'm like, well, that's kind of stupid. You're not putting me through that pain. And he goes, well, what if we have to put in contrast for the test? I'm like, well, then you can stick it in then. If you have to put in contrast for the CAT scan of the kidney, then fine. I'll roll up my sleeve and you can put it in then. But if you're just putting it in just to think because to rehydrate me, I've already thought of that. I've already been taking care of that. You don't need to stick me any more than possible, than is needed, because I just wasn't. I was already exhausted and in pain for too long, and I was in tears from this, and this was done 8 hours before they finally friggin' saw me in the back. So, and I was already fed up with pain by then. Okay, let's do him as an offer. Now, I've seen multiple varieties of these online, and they start usually around 15 or 20. So we are going to offer these guys up, and we're going to start them at 10. Now, they are cold painted. This is the one that I have not seen as often because this has the dollar signs and has barrels under their chest. Now, the original stopper it's turned hard. It's vulcanized rubber, and it has some kind of a name, but I'll be darned if I can read it. Excuse me. Where did it go? I have buried my I put it way back there. That's way too far. There is a name on that stopper. It's really hard to read though. I think it is CER, then it kind of melts. AMM, T, maybe TER, but it's hard to read. But there is a name on there. Now it does say Japan right there. There are a couple of flea bite chips, but there's no cracks. Where's that chip? Wait a minute, where'd it go? I could have sworn there was a chip. I mean, I know there's a lot of wear to the paint. Because I thought it was one of those chips where you feel it, but you don't see it. I really thought there was a chip. No, it's just a rough spot in the mold. Let me double check that. Yeah, it's not a chip. It's just a rough spot from the mold. Okay. I thought there was a chip on a foot, but it's the rough spot. But you can see that all these little marks, they are where the paint has started coming off. You can see the tips of their noses are starting to lose a little paint. The most paint loss is, of course, in the back, right around the slot. And then there's a little spot here, some little spotting here and here. Because basically when you pick it up, what are you going to do? You're going to grab it by the end. You see what I mean? Everywhere where there's paint loss in the back except this spot is all from how you would grab it to handle it. It does not have any coins in it. Oh, look, we have a troll. They've brought a cave troll. Yeah. And then we're going to get rid of you. There we go. Bye-bye. It's like Sean Bean in Lord of the Rings when they're going through Barad-dûr and and the goblins come and he just looks and he goes, "Oh, they have a cave troll." Like, "Oh, look who they brought to tea." I have a troll in the chat. So we were at I see Heaven Mound Farm at 10. Well, there's Patrick. So, and this is foo. Look, I am so not with it. I don't have a way to measure this, do I? Oh, there it is. I thought I had lost it. Like I lost my other tape. So this set of Doberman are 6 inches wide. They are 5.5 inches. So they're 6 inches wide. They are just a hair under. They're just a hair under 5.5 tall. And I don't know. I mean, and they are really, I mean, you can see all the lines they have molded in to look like the fur. They really are adorable. And look at those eyes just staring up at you. They are so adorable. They are absolutely adorable. So I see Heaven Mound Farm for 10. And if no one else is interested in these adorable pups that are a bank, yeah, I think it might even be a little earlier than the 50s because this is hard. And what happens is, like, in the 30s and 40s, they used vulcanized rubber. And what happens with that is it gets hard as a rock. And the stopper's in there, but there's the remains, I think, of some kind of label were right there. But isn't it adorable? Hello, Melody. So, yeah, I think it's earlier because they weren't, by the 1950s, they didn't use the same kind of rubber as this stuff. I know vulcanized rubber because there was a lot of stuff that my great aunts had from the 20s and 30s that had it, but it changed through the war. They found better ways to make rubber stoppers and things, so you don't find the stuff that's turned rock hard anymore. So I think it's earlier than the 50s. So, and considering that where it what it was found with, this is something that was from my grandmother, from her house. That was the daughter from the great aunts. That was actually, she was the sister to the great aunts. So this was from that side of the family, and there was a lot of stuff from the 20s and 30s. So I wouldn't be surprised this was something that Nanny had tucked away from the 30s when they were singing in the gin joints during Prohibition. So, yep, absolutely fun little St. Bernard. So, Heaven Mound Farm is at 10, and I'm going to start calling it. So we have going once. We have 43 here tonight. Hello, hello. If you are new, you will notice that I usually have a very eclectic mix because of the fact that I've inherited from 3 separate estates. One of them not even family. That was a massive book thing. Mom inherited from a couple people too that were not relatives, and that stuff's still here. And da 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 da. Sold. Awesome. Sold to Heaven Bound Farm. How are you doing anyway, darling? I have not seen you in a while. Haven't checked in on if you've done any videos lately for any of those farm critters. Oh, I hear a key and a lock. Yes, what do you want? You know who it is. There's only 3 of us that live here. He hears the key in the lock, and he turns around and looks at me with really wide open eyes like, oh, who's that? Somebody's coming. And I'm just laughing because, you know, if there's only 3 of us here, come on, Elron, figure it out. He is so funny. So, where did I just put it? I have another porcelain thing. There it is. Hey, do you... I didn't see you earlier, and I was holding off on this. Do you care if I try to sell this, or do you want me to put this away for if you have a kid? You can sell it. Okay. Okay. Oh yeah, they have. I don't think they've been down there other than this morning. But now with it raining, they'll be. You opened the door already, didn't you? There'll be water on the floor. They'll be wet. They ain't sleeping with me. They'll be wet. He's letting them in the basement to go run around and play. You still have your collar on. Yes, he's been a very good boy. He still has the collar on. I really think he taken the bell off. It might have been it when you saw him chewing on the bell. Gimli does not like collar, and he had the original one for a while, but then somewhere he lost that, and we've never found it. And then I gave him a new collar, and he kept popping it off. And then he broke it, and he chewed it apart. He broke it. So this time, Mike put the last of the collars on, the snap release collars I had, and he caught Gimli chewing on the bell part. He didn't seem to like the bell, so Mike took the bell off. And so far, Gimli's been a good boy, and he's kept his collar on all day. Usually, it's off within an hour. So, no, you love the fur baby. Everybody loves the fur babies, and bless your hearts, because some of you have been generous and helped with the buy me a teas, or have gotten stuff off the wish list and sent it to me off Amazon, and there have been times y'all have kept them fed more than you realize. uh yeah, Fiona, late night bath. Mike sent me a video while I was in the ER because Mike dropped me there and he had to go to work. So, and we knew I was going to sit there for hours. We didn't know that he would show up after work with food, thank goodness, because the only thing I'd had to eat was an apple that morning. And and so he came home, and because it had been raining, he emptied the big trash can upstairs of all the water. Well, crazy little Elron, for the first time, the water is like this deep in the tub, where he's just emptied this giant trash can full of water. And he hopped in and is playing in the water. What? So, hey, yeah, I tried with Mike, you know. He's 28 now and will probably be moving out sometime this year. So I need to be financially to the point where that's okay. So we'll see. That's another reason he bought me a new phone. It's my anniversary present. It's a what is it? Look, we all know I'm technology challenged, right? So it's a Revel, REVVL. It's a T-Mobile Revel 6 thing. Revel? Is that how you say it? REVVL? But that should give me, it basically, it upgrades the camera. It should give me plenty of memory and all that to film videos again. The only thing is right now it's not in a case, and the blasted sucker is extremely slippery because even the back of it is made out of glass. Only the band around the edge is metal, and I have dropped it a couple of times because I don't have a case for it yet. They only had 2 cases in the store that were ridiculously expensive and unbelievably ugly. So I said no. So I need to get a case for that sucker as soon as possible because I don't want to break the glass. That just, so I still have the old phone, but the old phone because there was a glitch with transferring some phone numbers over. There are a couple people, like my own sister, it didn't transfer her over, but it transferred her husband. So there's still a few things I gotta get set up over. And there's some photos in that one that didn't transfer over to that one. So yeah, I'm gonna check Amazon and check eBay, and there has to be funds though first. So when I don't pack up, I don't make money. And eBay, my last sale of the year for eBay was one of the vintage travel decals for Rhode Island, I think. I think it was the Rhode Island one. That was my last, yeah, on the 29th of December, the Rhode Island decal sold. Because there's some vintage travel decals up. So that was my last sale from eBay. And I'm now up to having 41 things on eBay. Just keep plugging away. Keep plugging away. I got a whole shelf over there of stuff that's got to go on there. So, all right. Now, no, I still have to find the TARDIS dress. I know to keep the cats away from it, I carefully wrapped it back up in the bag and I put it in a box. I don't know which box. But I have not forgotten, Nora. I have not forgotten. You want the TARDIS dress. And I know I saw it when I was getting stuff out that had to be packed for somebody. So it's in one of the boxes of stuff that's from previous sales that still needs to get packed. So I know it's in one of those boxes, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4 of those boxes down here and 2 more upstairs. I got lots of the back. So it's I have not forgotten you. Have not forgotten you. All right, let's do this. I did not look this up to see. I personally, if I were going to hang this on the wall, I would get a wire. This is, I think, the original. It's a twisted thread. It looks like a brown and white, and I think that's the original. I would replace that with wire. It is wonderful little rose with 2 rosebuds, and it has the Lord's Prayer in wonderful gold lettering. Now, I didn't look it up to see that number to see if who made this, because sometimes you can find things, it doesn't have any stickers on it. I mean, I usually know when something is like Lefton. This is not a Lefton. I know that much. That's not a Lefton number either, so I don't believe it's theirs, but it's definitely something probably from the 1950s. It is 5 inches wide and 3.5 tall, and it's about 1 inch deep, because you can see that it's definitely made to look like a book. So it is a cute little thing, and this is $6. I think this is probably from the 1950s. This is $6, number 26, for the Lord's Prayer, the Lord's Prayer with roses little plaque. $6, number 26. Oh, uh-oh, let me refresh, because you both popped up in my chat at the same time. Let me refresh and see who's first. And Sawdust came in first. Okay. Now, I have... Oh, let's do this silly little thing. Now, this is styrene. Styrene was an early plastic that replaced celluloid. So it's not, the way you could tell styrene is, yeah, it's a hard plastic, but it's also very shiny. And sometimes with styrene, you can notice it mostly on the foot. Can you see the variations in the color a little bit? I don't know if you guys will quite be able to see that. When you look at the bottom, it almost has this pearly kind of look, because it when they would mix the color in, it didn't always come out perfectly uniform. And the pink has a little bit of that too, right along here. And that's one of the ways you can tell the styrene from later plastics. Most candy containers that we see from the 30s and the 40s and the 50s are all styrene. Styrene came out like late 1930s. Before that would be celluloid, which is usually very thin, also flammable. It doesn't take much heat for those suckers to melt. This is a bank. It says on the thing that it is Tip Top is the name of the company that made it. And then it says, 2 little feet to walk in his ways. Suffer little children to come unto me. Luke 18:16. Cross USA. So I'm guessing it was some giveaway at some point. I'm trying to get it open, but both fingernails are just too long to get a hold of that little tab to get it open. But it's in excellent condition. Such a cute little thing. So, if you have, want to start putting little bits of money away for a grandchild, that'd be a cute little way to do it. Absolutely cute. So this little guy is not on here. I didn't get my list finished. Now, if he were, one of the candy containers that's a rabbit or a bunny or something like that, or a Santa, he'd be worth way more. There are people, though, that do collect styrene. But for you guys, he's going to be $5 and number 17. $5, number 17. Okay. That one over there because this has sold. We'll put this right here. Now, let's see. Who's next? Who's next? We have this charming little couple. Now, they have Made in Japan in red. It's kind of small. So it's right there. It's kind of hard to see. But it is this wonderful couple. He's got his little cape, so I think he's a cavalier up to no good. And she has all these little red apples in her basket. You know what I have done with these is that you see these all over the place where it's either a colonial couple or, maybe the clothing will be a little earlier. But I use these to decorate at Valentine's Day. Vintage Valentine's Day stuff is, you can find the paper stuff sometimes, but porcelain decorations for Valentine's Day, not always so easy to find. But you can find these little charming couples. Oh, they're easy to find. They are easy to find in every Goodwill and antique mall. Somebody's always got these little guys. And I think they're really cute to decorate for Valentine's with. And this is actually one of the ones I've had to decorate with. And I thought I would, like I said, I'm trying to also purge some of my own hoard. So I thought I'd offer them up. And so this is $5 for the little porcelain couple. $5, number 51. $5.51. Because before we know it, January will be over and we'll be riding into Valentine's Day. Now, I have, come on now, cooperate. Now, I have a tin. It's not particularly old. After all, it says best before 8/2/2012. It's been made in Scotland for Marks and Spencer, which is a very well-known store in England. But check this out. It's the bus. It's a double-decker bus. Now, on the top, it does say Marks and Spencer Limited. There is a little bitty scratch right there. That is, as from what I can see, the only flaw that I found on it, I'm gonna double check that. There's that one, and then there's a little dot. Can you even see it? There's a little dot where the paint's chipped right there. Not tonight, but I will be looking so that because if I'm gonna sell Valentine's, and I know there was some that I found in my parents' cedar chest, in my mother's cedar chest. So if I'm gonna sell Valentine's, it has to be in 2 weeks at the next sale, because otherwise, you want them in time for Valentine's Day. So that'll be the night I have them, because I know I've got some somewhere, but I'm not exactly sure where. So now you can see there's a tiny little, as with most tins, there's a tiny little darkening around the edge up right in there, but it's clean inside and it's a nice size. I mean, this is big. I mean, you could store a lot in there. Because, I mean, what does Trisha do? It's big as my head. Well, this is 6 inches tall, but it is, come on, it is 10 inches long. So it's 6 inches tall, 10 inches long, and 3 3/4 deep that way. So, from front to back. So that is a good size tin. It looks really cool. You can use it. You can use it as a decoration. The nice part of decorating with tins is it gives you instant storage with them. But with that size, man, you could put your stationery in there if you wanted to, or hide your teas in it, whatever you want to do. But that is really cool. And it is really well planned out, because notice that you don't see where the seam is. That's how well planned out this tin is, because the seam is right here on the edge. I love tins. I love tins from England, because boy, they do it like nobody else. So very cool. So this big old tin, the bus tin, the double-decker bus, is $6. $6 number 24. $6 number 24 for the double-decker bus. Oh, and I see Melinda. There we go. Thank you very much. Now, somebody had asked me about work basket, and I have to go back through the my last live to remember who, because I apparently did not write it down in my notebook at the time. But I have 3 that I will put up now. These are the oldest ones I have. Notice they don't have the shiny cover. These are from April of 1962. Wait, who's first? Oh, wait a second. You see, you guys are keeping me honest. I think I missed somebody. Oh, Melinda, I'm sorry. They're right. It's Patsy first. I missed that. I'm sorry, Melinda. But you guys got to keep me honest. It's Patsy M was first for the bus tin. Wow, I had 3 of you. I didn't think of it. I sort of made that an offer up. But still, but yeah, it's Patsy is first. I did refresh and I missed that and I'm sorry. I think one of the problems is because I dim my computer screen because if the brightness is up and then my glasses are so old, I have to keep tilting my head to look through the bifocals to read the screen, which at this distance I shouldn't need that, but these are really old glasses. That's also on my list for this year. So let's do the workbooks. I have April 1962 work basket, May 1963, and October 1963. Now, for any of you that don't know what work basket is, they always have designs in there for different crafts, for sewing, for knitting. I don't quite know what this one is. Knit mittens with rickrack. I think you're just decorating it with rickrack. There's a ton of ads here. Shape up your wardrobe, fall and winter favorites. Ooh. So, I mean, even if you just wanted to use them as the ephemera, English plum pudding. Oh, that sounds interesting. Marshmallow pumpkin chiffon pie, however, does not. Carrot pudding. I've never heard of that. So there's even usually a couple of pages of recipes. Pumpkin tarts. Well, that's interesting. So there's this women who make sense, and they're little craft ideas that they used to sell, but somebody's got the idea for this one, and it's a little tiny cup and saucer, and she calls them nut cups. Odds and ends of number 30 crochet thread make these lovely little nut cups in cup and saucer design. They're crocheted in a shell stitch and the handle's made with a chain stitch. So they can't be very big. And then they can be made in desired colors for banquets and parties. Starch lightly when complete. These sell quickly for 15 cents each. Well, you probably sell them for more than that now. This one has all the directions for a hooded scarf. I was looking for directions that actually had picture. And I know like later on, I mean they've got lace doilies, they got all kinds of stuff. They've got the Afghan that's on the front. So they always have, even if you've got crochet for that, like really nice lace. But they always have cool stuff in them. The problem is that I can knit a scarf and that's all I can knit. I don't know how to crochet. So none of this is the kind of stuff that is the types of stuff I would know how to do any of it up. I just don't know. Now, the one thing with work baskets that later work baskets I know had them, I don't think these had them because this is so much earlier, but later ones would have a folded out sheet that you could take out of the center that was embroidery transfers. I have somewhere in the Black Hole Challenge room, there are stacks of those because I inherited all the ones from my grandmother. I inherited all the ones from my great aunt. All the work basket books that were my mom's, I took all the ones she had because I knew how to do that. So, well, maybe. So you get all 3 of these, and let's see. So this is one 1962 and two of them from 1963. Work basket. So you get three of them. So we're just going to do them at $2 each. So it would be $6 for the three of them. $6, number 35. $6, number 35. And if you are the person from the last video that were interested in them and wanted to, you were looking, I think, for a specific year, email me because I found a few more. But so that's for these three. I so admire the people that can crochet and make lace and stuff like that. I can't do that. I just can't do that. I don't know how. Just don't know how. So, we're down to 38. We lost, 37. We lost a few. So let's do the crazy frozen Charlotte. She's going to eat your soul. It's those eyes, man. What did they do to her eyes? She just is creepy. So creepy. And I see Nora for number 35. Thank you. But we are going to do an offer up for the so we're going to start her at 6. Now, one of the reasons she's starting so high is that she has the majority of her paint. She has made in China and the number 4262 on her back. So it's not stamped on the foot. It's actually impressed into the mold. I don't know why they say frozen, but I think it's because their arms and legs, they're a doll, but they don't move. Because the arms and legs are not separate. They're called frozen Charlottes if they're a girl and a frozen Charlie if they're a boy. They are mostly from the 1910s to 1930s, through the 1930s. I know my mother and my great aunts had several of them because they used to be giveaways at carnivals, church fairs, on the boardwalk. She is amazing to have this much paint left. And now you can see there's some wear to the bow on the hat. And you know, if you notice, her hair is blue. They often used watercolor paints to paint the color on. So you have to be very careful if you clean these. Honestly, if you clean these and have to use any water at all, I would say use a cotton swab because of the fact that it's most of the time when you see them, most of their color has faded away. But her eyes are the creepiest things because instead of just like the dot is actually up on her eyelid instead of in her eye. So it gives her eyes this just incredibly creepy to me. This just incredibly creepy look. I mean, if I had found her at Halloween, we'd have had a blast with that. But man, get her out of my house. She scares me. But as I said, she is, for what you find, she is fantastic to still have all her color. How tall is she? She's 3.5 inches tall. I think her shoes might have been red because there's a little bit of red there and a little there and a little in the crease there. But that's like a brick red as opposed to the pink of the dress. But like I said, I am really amazed that she has so much color to her because the color's usually gone. And there's like like her feet, there's usually just little fragments of color. But I've never seen one that actually had made in Japan and a code number on the back. I've never seen that before. I've seen them marked in red, made in Japan on the bottom, or not marked at all. I've never seen one with that in the actual mold where they would have that and an item number. But yeah, back in the days before eBay, man, there were a lot of these. There were a lot of these from the house in Norwood, from my great aunt's house, from them. My mother had a lot of them from her being a little kid because my mom was born in 1929. And all during the Depression, these were great because they were cheaply made. I suspect that they were made as blanks and sent out to the carnival people. And then they were the ones that would watercolor them because the colors I've seen have been vastly different, but they all always seem to be basic watercolor paint. Um, so if the person who's getting them is doing that themselves, if the vendor is doing that themselves, then that would, that would explain it. As kid plays with them or they get it wet over time or you try to clean it, the color would just come right off. I love some of the details to her. She's got this little dimple in her elbow, and unlike some others I've seen, when you look at her fingers, and I don't think I can get this close enough to see, you can see every little finger there. Like her fingers are all definitely separated. I love that little dimple. I love that little dimple. That is just so cool. Now the mold line's kind of rough. You can see the mold line right there. Now they did smooth it down, but you can still see it. But she's got some amazing detail. And for the face, she's really cool. Where is her nose? Her nose, she's got the tiniest little button nose and those chubby chipmunk cheeks and curls to the hair. I mean, she's very nicely detailed. I'll give her that. It's just the way they did her eyes just creep me out. And I've never, like the old horror flicks where they had dolls come to life. I think it's because I was very young and they showed Barbarella on TV and the scene with the dolls scared the crap out of me. Any horror flick with where it's like dolls come to life, they just scare me. So where are we at? I've seen a lot of numbers jumping around, and I see Tammy Mullinax at 27. Let me scroll up and make sure. Yep, Tammy is the high, and Patsy, thank you, Patsy is out. So that puts it between Tammy and Marilyn, I believe, to see who's going to go. So we are at Tammy at 27. And there's, I guess they didn't trust themselves to put paint on it, but there's a little curl right in the middle of her forehead. But whoever did it, they didn't paint the little curl. Okay, what is that thing? There was a little girl who had a little curl right in the middle of her forehead. And when she was good, she was very, very good. But when she was bad, she was horrid. God, the stuff you remember from when you were a child. Okay, so Marilyn says she is out. So I'm going to start calling it. But yeah, she is, as a Frozen Charlotte, she is incredible. She's the most detailed one I've ever seen. And to have all that color is great. That's absolutely fantastic. But yeah, I'm getting chills. Oh, in Barbarella, there is a spot where she goes in, checks in some spaceship. And you remember the dolls, the 36-inch tall dolls? I mean, I had one in the what, early 70s. And they had a bunch of them, but they have metal, they put metal teeth in and they all keep going, mama, and coming after her and like tearing at her fishnet stockings. It is very, very creepy. So we have going once. Did I put, oh, duh. I didn't hit enter. All right, let's get the sold in there. Da, 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 da. Hit that enter button. There we go. And congratulations, Tammy. Oh, that is awesome. Thank you very much. So we have Tammy Mullinex. I always want to make sure I get your name spelled right. Okay. Time for a little water. Oh, God, yeah. Misty would love her. Misty likes the creepy Frozen Charlottes, doesn't she? Or is it just creepy dolls in general? Misty has so many little collections, I lose track. I have to admit, I have loved when Misty has gone and shown how she's decorated for holidays, but usually she only, like, we only usually see what she does for Christmas. And I would love to see what she has in her own collection for her other holidays. Oh, yeah, I can't believe it. My son said he's never seen Labyrinth, but I know he's seen Legend because a clip came up and it showed Tim Curry. And he's like, "Hey, I remember seeing that. I think I was little." I'm like, "I'm sure you did. And I'm sure you've seen Legend too, but or Labyrinth, but he doesn't." Oh, okay. Tammy, do you want me to send it to you first, or do you want me to send it directly to her? Because I can do that if you want, and I could wrap it all up as a little gift box and wrap it. And so you let me know, and I can do that. I can I can wrap it all up and make it look all pretty and send it either directly to her or send it to you, send it right to you. You let me know which one. Um, I have not looked this up to see who made this. I've never found another one to match it, and I did clean it. There's no wax left in this. I've had this upstairs in my room for a long time, but now for the safety of not having kittens break it, I think it's time to see if anyone else would like to have this. Now, they made these, um, they made these when? In the what, the 70s, 60s? But I love the pattern. I think they're either daisies or they're sunflowers. And I think that these things are really cool. Now, they usually would have a ring around here, but you can stick these, you can get the little rubber rings, and you can stick them into any candle holder, and it then be in any candlestick, and then it instantly becomes one that you can put a votive candle in or a tea light candle. I used to have candles in it. And then I learned that, it's not really good for vintage glass to have lit candles in them. But it is such a cool little thing. And I only have ever come across the one. I've only ever found the one. Oh, okay. I'll write the poem down with it. Uh-oh. I hear them. Okay, I will do that. I will write the poem out. And I will put this back up again. Mike let them into the basement, but I hear him clawing at the door to let out. So give me a second. I go let the furry children back into the rest of the house. I'm coming. I'm coming. Don't tear my house apart. My house has enough issues. Ugh. Okay, here I am. Here I am. Come on. What's this? Get your hands on that. Come on, everybody out. Come on, everybody out. Come on. Who am I missing? Where's Gimli? Oh, okay. There we go. Look out. Look out. Everybody out. Come on. Come on. No, you're not going back in there. You all came up to eat a little dry food and now you want to go back down in there. No. You're not going back in. Oh my goodness. Sorry, because I wasn't sure I had them all, and then Mike finally hollered that he has Gimli upstairs with him. I was trying to get the fifth one out of there, and it turns out he wasn't down there. So, oh, sorry about that. Had to honk that horn there. Okay. I don't know that Misty watches my channel. I don't think you have to worry about that. She did for a while there, and she was a huge, huge help to me when I first started. She and Jeffrey and Andrew from Jocelyn, Crazy Lamp Lady, because I've met Andrew at that flea market twice now, and then here he and his dad taught some of my scouts metal detecting, and so but those three were huge helps when I was just starting out, and Trisha's been a big help, and so. But yeah, Misty was so patient and answered so many questions for me. She's an absolute doll. Ow. Okay, so we are back to the candle holder. And I didn't research it to find out who made it because there were a couple of different companies that did, and they really were, I think, more from the 70s. But it really is such a neat little pattern. So this is the candle holder to convert it. And you could put the electric tea lights in there and it would look really cute. So, so this is $6, number 82. $6, number 82 for that. What do I have left? Oh, I have this. Did them. I have this. This is actually a craft thing. Are we almost to the end? I think. Oh, no. I asked Mike if I was allowed to sell that. And then there's this guy. Okay, Nora wants that. Okay. Thank you. Put that up there and that get up there. So I have a couple of crafty things. Let's do the little vest first. Now I'm going to put this on Etsy if no one wants to purchase it tonight. I don't know the exact size, but this is a little kid's vest for a little one. And you see what's on it? It's all St. Patrick's Day fabric with the little, and you can see that there's little gold coins in there. This, my mother had made this for Michael when he was a wee little one. And have little gold buttons. The gold buttons have an eagle on the front. I have no idea what size this is because he was a wee one. He was a wee little one. So let's see. From shoulder to bottom is 17 inches. And from side seam to side seam is 17 inches. So that would be, the brain has died. It would, 17 and 17 is 34, right? 34 inches across at the side seams. I don't know what that translates to as a size. I have not figured that out. It has a straight back, little points in the front. It has black lining fabric as the inside. It does not have any little pockets though. But it was really cute. He did like vests, and so Mom had made that one for him, and he's letting me sell that one. And like I said, if it doesn't sell here, it's going to go up in the Etsy store. So the St. Patrick's kids vest. Trying to think. I think he only wore it for 2 years, and you only wear it for the day. Let's see. I'm going to put it on Etsy at that. So for you guys, for this wonderful handcrafted thing, it will be $10 and would be number 78 for the St. Patrick's Day vest for a child. $10, number 78, which is about half of what I'm putting that sucker up on Etsy for. Now, I have another thing that I have not figured out. So the last 3 things I have are all craft related or crafting kind of things. One is this vintage mini sewer sewing and marking kit as seen on TV. Made in the USA, Salem Select Distributors from California. Includes one mini sewer, mini marker, an ultra guide, an ultra threader. Supposedly has an instruction book, a ruffle making guide instruction booklet. So let's it doesn't want to come out. Okay, so what is yes 34? I see 82, but I haven't used the number 34. So everything is in there. That spool of thread doesn't look like it's been touched. See, everything's in there. That is some kind of guide. Clear plastic, nice and shiny. This thing is new in box. Yeah, that spool of thread's never been touched. What is that? What are these? Oh, these are the little extra wires. Oh, the measurements. Thank you. You can tell my back hurts. My brain is getting distracted. So it has everything because there's the ruffle making guide. And then here's the instructions on how to use the things. Now I'm looking for a date. That's what I want. I want a date. Litho USA. So that's all lithographed. So that means it's definitely still in maybe the early 70s, because you were still finding stuff lithographed, but that really was gone by 1980. Okay, so some of that stuff on the plastic is marking tucks and buttonholes, marking scallops, depth of hems. Cool. So apparently for the mini sewer, that spool fits inside of it. Interesting. I have no clue what this is. Yeah. This was from a clean out where I helped someone clean out an attic and of their grandmothers. And yeah, I'm not finding a date anywhere. I was hoping. I really was hoping I'd find a date. So I think, oh, wow. Okay, I know the date now, even without having one printed out for me. So, that picture, I wasn't sure. Long hair, ruffles, okay. Early 70s maybe, or 60s. No. That's nothing but ruffles as a thing for her hair. I think that's 60s. I think that's mid to late 60s. I really do. And maybe early 70s, but I'm leaning more towards 60s with that. But wow, yeah, that's definitely I think that's definitely the 60s. But it's all there. It's new old stock. I mean, it's got all its little tags still stuck on there. Yeah. So this thing is wild. Get it all back in there. So I didn't even look this up on eBay. As I said, I didn't research everything. Now you can see that the box has a little crunch to it right there. It's not a plastic box. This is styrofoam, old school shiny styrofoam. And then this is the measuring guide. Marks for hem depth, buttonholes, all kinds of different stuff. So one of the booklets talks about that too, about the different ways to use that thing. I love how it has the old logo as seen on TV. Because back then's when all that started. And it all just slides right in, back into the case. Now there's a little bit spot there where there must have been a price sticker. Yeah, there's no date on the box either, but like I said, there's a little crunched right on the end here. But that's it. It's in great shape. It's new old stock. So the, what is it? Mini sewer. I like how they have mini sew apostrophe R. So, new old stock like that, this would be $10, number 46. $10, number 46. Oh yeah, it's in great nick. It is definitely in great nick. $10, number 46. And that's definitely one of those where if it doesn't sell with you guys, I'm going to be seeing about putting that sucker up on eBay just to see what it would do. If they end up at your house, Fiona. Oh, yeah, I know. Like it used to be that was the only place you can get them. Now, every once in a while, you see stuff you had to order, and then they started saying as seen on TV on the packages, but you still had to order them off the TV. And then it got to the point where now, like I know, they pop up. I know Boscov's used to have, um, they would have some corner that would always be nothing but as seen on TV stuff. Oh, Fiona, you want that one? It has to do with sewing. I'm not completely surprised. So the next two things I have. This one is the only one I have of this. Durable etched glass look, but it's rub-on, and it's butterflies. Now, I've used rub-on stuff a lot when I was still had the time and the space to be doing crafty stuff. And so you can see how they have that frosted look. And you would cut out around it, and it comes with its little stick. And then on the back side of the paper, you would rub over top the whole thing, and then this frosted part then would transfer on. But when you go to peel it off, you do it from the corner and go very slow, because if you see that it's not sticking to whatever you're sticking to, you put it back down, you rub a little harder on that spot so that it transfers over. But there's quite a few. It's a sealed package. So how many are on there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 12 different sizes and types of butterflies on there. And so, what do you want? Yes? You better behave yourself, Aragorn. Don't you mess with that light. So, butterfly rub-ons. That's what they're usually called. Oh, I'm out of little number cards. Let me get some more number cards. Okay. They are butterfly rub-ons. It will look like etched glass. Can you see the different things they've put them on? So this is $4. I think it's just one sheet with all those different ones on there. Doesn't say it's one sheet, but I kind of think it is. So it's $4, number 72. $4, number 72 for all those rub-on transfer butterflies to make it look like etched glass. Okay. Now, the other one I have is bottle tops. They're from 1999. So that makes them over 20 years old. Doesn't that make them vintage? It's a bottle topper kit. Now, someday I'm going to find the witch one because I think the witch one. These are what they all look like. Someday I'm going to find the witch one because I think she's fun. Now, this is the baby kit, and it makes, I love the little tooth, but they're for on top of a glass jar. So any canning jar or mayonnaise jar, you know, whatever size jar you want to put, they usually say the additional materials needed are quart jar with a lid. It says acrylic paint, blue, yellow, and white, but I don't know what for because there's nothing on this one that I see that's painted. And it says hot glue and powder blush because there is a tiny little bit of a blush on the cheeks. But I don't see on this one anything in that image that's painted, so I don't know why you would need paint. But everything you need other than those things is in there. The lace, the ribbon, the embroidery floss to do the mouth, a little bit of hair, a little blonde hair. You got some little wooden pieces. I'm not sure what those are for. The little black beads are the eyes. But that's what it makes. And so it's a sealed kit, new old stock. Hi. What you doing? Frodo? What you doing? I see you, Elrond. You're being a good boy. You, however, make me nervous, Aragorn, because you're up where you shouldn't be. You're staring at the ceiling. What do you see? Dead people again? What? No, that's your sister. Honestly, Arwen just suddenly will like turn her head and just stare at a wall, stare down the hallway. She's something else. Well, they all kind of, when the light hits it, it has a reflective band on it. So most of the collars kind of look white. Though that was Frodo. His collar is yellow, and it's fallen apart because they play so hard and they're only cloth. They're shredding. I'm gonna have to go on to Amazon and buy another package because I've used them all. I don't have any replacements. Because now everybody but Aragorn has had a replacement collar. Either because they've lost it or with the other ones, it's because they've shredded them. With the way these boys fight with each other, they've shredded them. It's why they don't have hardly any toys left, too, which is, I think, another reason why they're getting into trouble, getting into things they necessarily shouldn't be in, because there's not a stuffed mouse left. They've even destroyed 3 of the doctor's toys. She's none too happy about that. There was one that was fairly new, and it looked like a little sardine. It was a little thin thing, but it had catnip in it. Aragorn literally ripped its head off, and I can't find the head. I'm afraid that idiot ate it because but then I had catnip all over my bed. Thank you. But so yeah, kittens they have sharper claws than an adult cat and sharper teeth because it hasn't worn down any. And so that's why on my Amazon wish list there's like a little plastic kit that's got like 20 toys in it because of these lunatics. Yes, I'm talking about you. I am talking about you. I have watched you just rip mice right open and then start pulling the stuffing out and try to eat it, which you're not supposed to do because you're special. You and your sister eat paper. Your sister's peeled wallpaper right off the wall. Yes. Come here. Come on. Come say hello. Come on. Come here. Come here. Come on. Now you know I'm going to grab you under the rib cage. That's Aragorn. Oh, wow, sawdust. That's not good. Come here. Come here. You want a petting? You want a petting? No? No petting? No? You're not gonna come over? Golden eyes? Aragorn with the golden eyes? No? Your brother's not in the box. There's a box over there that Gimli's been sleeping in, and he's looking for Gimli. But Gimli's up with Michael. Yeah, Gimli's upstairs with Michael. Go find Gimli. He's with Michael. Go find Mike's room. Gimli's in Mike's room. He thinks he's going to sneak up on me. Here he comes. I gotcha. Come on. There we go. Yeah. Say, let him see your eyes. Let him see your pretty eyes. Yeah, look at that golden color. Yeah, your siblings have yellow eyes except for Elrond. His are blue, but he's part Siamese. Yeah, you're our big cuddle baby. You're our big baby. Aragorn is scared of his own shadow. Yeah. Oh, so big now. Look at him. He's the closest in size to Gimli. Gimli is almost as big as the doctor, and the doctor's 10 years old now. 9 or 10. 2023. So yeah, I think 10 years old. So yeah. So they're all adorable. So oh, so big. Elrond's still kind of thin. Arwen's kind of thin. Frodo's catching up because I've started watching now. Last month I started noticing is like Gimli is very food insecure, which makes no sense because that often happens with a cat that's been outside on the streets. But when they came here, their mother was still feeding them. So he's never gone without food when he's needed it. So he will push his brothers out of the way to eat. And since I started stopping that, then the others are all starting to fill up. Aragorn's the only one that would push back and not let him have their food. But oh, I know. Oh, they all want me. When I wake up in the morning, the minute I'm out of my bedroom, everybody in the house knows Nancy's awake because the cats get the zoomies as soon as I'm out of the bedroom. They will start running up and down the stairs, running around. Mike thinks it's funny. I don't think it's fun. They follow me every room I go to. Sometimes that's dangerous because they are at my feet, and that's I don't want to fall again. But yeah, I am definitely mom. They don't like that I lock my bedroom door so they can't come in because I just can't. They're too heavy, and I have trouble as it is. I'm so stiff in the mornings, and then if I try to move and there's a cat, Aragorn loves to be in between your legs at your knees. So you are pinned into that bed, especially if it's him and Gimli. That's too much weight. You're not moving. And it's too much strain then on my spine. So they can't sleep in with me. And I only have a twin bed. So yeah. Oh, I'll never be lonely with these guys. So the plan is Michael wants to keep now Gimli and Aragorn. When he moves, he'll take one, if not both. He'll probably take both because I cannot see. Aragorn is bonded with Gimli. You really can't separate them. That was never in the plan. It was never in the plan to have them this long either. I would like to keep Elrond. Gary would like to keep Frodo, but at the same time, Gary doesn't want to cough up more money to help pay for food. So no. But and hopefully that nurse and I'll get together and Arwen will be adopted. So let's do our last thing. I see it's 1:32. And well, you know, we're not going to tell where I live because technically where I live, you're only allowed to have 4 cats on your property at any one time. And they include any stray outdoor cats. If they're found to be on your property, they're yours. Only 4. Yeah. So, he has there is a possibility that come spring, like April, maybe May, but there is a possibility he will be moving out in the spring. It depends on several factors, but it is a definite possibility. So I need to be financially steady by then. So I thought I had till the fall, but I might not. So we'll see what happens. Fingers crossed, but we'll keep going. Hey, 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 hey! What the heck? Since when do you wrap your body around my foot? This is not a new game. No, no, no. No, no, no. What are you doing? Aragorn, what are you doing? No. What on earth was that action? He's suddenly trying to eat my shoelace and has literally got my foot. He's upside down under the desk and has my foot in a full 4-leg lock while he's trying to get his head around to chew my shoelace. My foot is not a toy. Never a dull moment. It's like having 5 toddlers. So oh my goodness. If the owner has put a layer of plastic spikes on the way to sleep. Yeah, I've been working on trying to stop that. It cannot lay on me. I've got the 2 little hernias. If they're in the wrong spot, it's not good. And some of them are just too big. Arwen is still light and small, so is Elrond. But they're going to get bigger. Elrond maybe not, because Siamese tend to stay naturally slim. But I cannot have Aragorn or Gimli laying on top of my body. They are just too heavy. And what are you? Oh, no, 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 no. No, give me that. Give me that. No. You're not going to eat it because he'll puke. No. Oh, this is going to be fun. Hang on. Ugh. Where are you? No. You're not eating that either. Get the hell off of that. Oh. You make my life painful some days, dude. He found a gribby. Not allowed to have that. Will you stop it? Get off my shoe. I took it away. You can't have it. Because they shred them, the little foam peanuts, and then they try eating little bits of it and they puke them back up. So no. Yeah, I did a lot of work with the doctor. Every time she laid on me when she was little, I'd pick her up and I'd put her down the bed at my knees. So when she would sleep with me, she would stay down by my feet, and that was no problem. But these guys, Elrond wants to be right here. He wants to be right in the armpit, and he'll put his head here and occasionally one leg sticking straight out. And he wants to be under the covers. I kind of get that because he's the one with the least body fat on him. And I think since the house at night is usually turned down to 56 degrees, I think he's just cold. Will you stop? Get off my shoe. Get. Aragorn, I love you, but you are my problem child. Yes, you. What are you doing? What? Come here. Oh, come on, problem child. What? You gonna help me sell something? Okay, so I have 3 of these kits. So you can either have 1, 2, or 3. or 3 of you can each want one. They've never been opened. You're going to go back down and go after my shoe again, aren't you? It is $6 for the kit. And as you know, any craft kits are usually, easily like twice that, if not more, these days. But it is from $19.99. Heck, originally it said it was $9.99 on the back. So, so for the little baby, and it makes a neat storage thing. So it makes a neat little thing. And even if you wanted to just like fill the quart jar up with something else, as it would make a cool topper as the baby gift. So that's what that is. It is $6. It is number 19. You get just one. It is $6, number 19. And you can either get one or two, but that price is each. Ah, what are you doing? You're trying to crawl under the table. No, no, no paper. Get out. No, no paper. You don't have any in your mouth, do you? No. No paper. I heard that. You found a piece of paper and ripped it. No paper, sir. Go lay down. Go on. Telling you. House full of toddlers. What are you doing under there? Hey. No. No. Oh, for the love of Pete, you got another one. There. It's under my shoe now. You're not getting it. Where he found another peanut. Don't know. All right, so for the recap, what do we have for the recap? We have the wonderful styrene baby shoe bank. And it has the little thing on the bottom, and it says on the top, 2 little feet to walk in his ways, suffer little children to come unto me. Luke 18:16, Cross USA. Cute little thing. This was $5 and was number 17. I've gotten them to where they sit. Now we're still working with Frodo and Arwen on sit. But if I say sit, usually, Aragorn and Gimli and Elrond have now finally gotten the idea to sit. They all answer to come and their name. They all answer to that, but we still need to keep working on sit. Lay down is not in the cards yet. Mike's working on lay down with Gimli. So we're getting there. It takes a lot of patience to train a cat. It is possible, but they are just as TREAT motivated as a dog is. But dogs are so much easier. So what else did not? We had the styrene. Oh, we had the lovely little porcelain cup. That was my ankle. We we have the lovely little porcelain couple, and like I said, these are fun. These are so much fun to have around for Valentine's Day. And this is the porcelain couple is $5, number 51. And we have the St. Patrick's Day vest for a child that was $10 and was number 78. And then the butterfly rub-ons that will look like etched glass when you're done That was $4 and was number 72. So that was, and everything else has a buyer. And I thank you all very much for that. We are getting near 2 o'clock. We've got a little time left. He's after it. You're not getting it. No. No, 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 Gribby. No. No. Don't look at me like puppy eyes. No. Not happening. Good night, Sawdust. Oh, Nora wants number 72. Oh, the butterfly rub ons. Okay. Well, thank you. What? Man. Oh my goodness. You're something else. He is funny. Frustrating, but funny. So, like I said, I never thought I'd still have all of them at this point. That's just kind of nuts. So, what are you doing? Now what did you find? Oh, what is that? That's metal. Ow. Where the hell did you get that from? It's a piece of jewelry. Where did you get that from? It's a little tiny pin. Oh, you know what? I'll bet I know where you found that, because one of the things I did, because the day after Christmas, I didn't work on anything for Tosh. I worked on just stuff for me. And this desk drives me nuts in that there's no way to stop anything from falling off the back. And I've had little stuff end up falling off the back of it. In the basement, up in the rafters, I knew there were some old pieces of trim. So I took a piece of quarter round trim and I carefully took painter's tape and wood glue and I glued it along the back of the desk so that things would stop falling off. And I thought I had found everything, but apparently I did not. He found one. He's helping me find stuff. So apparently there was one little thing, because if it gets to like right here, there's a chest of drawers right there with I don't know what inside of it. So I can't, if stuff falls and it goes under that, I have no way to get to it. That's why I cannot wait to have an office up in the Black Hole Challenge room, because then this desk can go, that chest of drawers can be sold, the desk can be sold. That'll be some large pieces out of this end of the living room. There is a big file cabinet right over there that I can't even get to. That is one. Have you ever been in Joann Fabrics and you see those great big metal cabinets that hold all the patterns, all those drawers full of patterns? Well, when the Joann's I worked for closed, they were selling them off and my mom bought one. The only problem is they're so big that it cannot go through this end of the living room to leave. It has to leave the house by going out that end of the living room, where it's a very wide. What are you doing? What are you doing? No. No paper. But it's a wide doorway with a curtain rod at the top, so it can go out that way. And our front door is wider than the typical front door, so it can get out the front door. And that's the only way that thing got in here. And it's the only way it's going to go out. And if you don't stop No. Stop it. No. 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 Get off my shoe. Not a toy. No. Go lay down. Go on. Go lay down. I know you guys pushed the door open to my bedroom, which usually means that I'm going to have to go remove a cat. So, oh my goodness. So, I will miss them when they're gone, but at the same time, they need to be gone. So at least Mike helps out. I mean, he's bought food and litter and stuff because he's figured out um, that he's the one that figured out that it basically takes at the cheapest of getting stuff on sale. It basically takes $50 a cat to feed them for a month, and that's the low end. That's when you can snag stuff on sale, and that's the fact that they're only getting basically a tablespoon of wet food because one can to feed them all, but they're all too big for that. They all should be getting like they all should be getting a quarter of a can or half a can of wet food a day now, but that's not financially feasible. The vet said it won't hurt them any as long as they have dry food to make up for it, but there's a chemical in the wet food that they need for cats that outdoor cats get because they hunt, and indoor cats don't get because they're not hunting for their food. So he's back. He's back under there again. No. You are a hot mess tonight. I have never known you to be such a pest. Oh my. So so I look forward to playing with this new phone as I finally start to feel better. I haven't even tried really videotaping much with it. Um, so I need to do some test runs. I do think looking at how things look on the laptop, I do think that the camera is definitely much sharper than my old phone for the video for doing the live stream. That seems pretty cool. So we all know Nancy's technology challenged. So we'll see. The thing's already frustrated me with a couple of things, but we'll see what filming is like. So hopefully I can get a drop sale or something, get something filmed and see how that works to see how long a video can I make. So I hope you all had fun and had a good night. Um, is anybody on right now besides me? Steph was here, so I don't know that Steph is on. Um, Joshua Alexander's on, but he's not a reseller per se. He does a lot of woodworking and stuff with Curiosity Incorporated. And Bargain Barons has been doing something interesting. They're on live right now. So they're probably hitting thrift shop. They've done something interesting all winter long. They've just done something and just let it run as a live, but it's actually a video that they've just been letting run all the time, like 24/7. They did that the entire week before Christmas. I was like, there's a sneaky way to make income off YouTube. Just take some videos, hook them up as a live, and then just let them run. So that was intriguing. Not that I'm tech savvy enough to figure that out. So I hope you all have had a good time. I think we've had some fun tonight. You guys all seem to have fun laughing at me and these guys. So I look forward to being back, and this is the year I've got a whole list of health things got to get taken care of. I'll get those taken care of this year. And and we'll just keep on plugging away because we've had what we've had 2020 with a lockdown. We've had 2021 where everybody tried to figure out the new normal and of what life was going to be post a lockdown. It hit everybody's finances because a lot of people ended up not being able to work, or their kids were home from school and they were home from work, and so we've spent 2022 readjusting to try to get back into life, and kids back to school, people back to work, getting back on our feet. So I think 2023 for a lot of us that I've seen, nobody's made any particular resolutions, though some people I know have. I don't tend to do that. Um, but I honestly think it's like I've seen so many people say that they're going to make it the year where they actually stop doing those deferred decisions, and there's some things that they are making a point that this is the year they're going to take care of. They have Mel Robbins had a good one, and she does a lot of motivational videos on YouTube. And one of her videos, and it was like an hour and a half long, but one thing I caught that really connected up here was that everybody makes these big long lists of all this stuff that they're going to do, and it's like pick five. Just pick five. Five things that you want to get done for 2023. Everybody can make resolutions. Oh, I'm going to do this. No, you get overwhelmed with a big long list. Be realistic and pick five. Top of my five is the roof, but getting Tosh up and running in a more organized and steady manner is another one. Black hole challenge room, having an office is a third one. But getting all these tests done and dealing with my health, that's the fourth one. So I have a little notebook and I wrote down for each one of the five things, what are the steps? Because that was the next thing she said. What are the steps you have to take to make those five things happen? So I sat there and I wrote them all out. So I've got a game plan. So it's not like it's a resolution so much as it's an actual game plan, because I actually took the time to go, what are the most important five for this year? And then what are the steps I need to make each one of those happen? And so I thought that was a good one, because it's not the same as just saying, oh, I'm going to lose weight. Oh, I'm going to do this for a resolution. It's a whole different thought process when you think of it as what's my game plan for the year. But I could honestly, I have a notebook for the house. It's a 3-ring binder. It's full of little and big jobs for this house. But to have five, when you have to winnow down just five goals for your year, you really start to think hard about, well, wait a minute, what really is the most realistic and what really has to happen? What are the ones that have to become the priorities? Because if you think of all the things you got to get done, you get overwhelmed. And she's absolutely right about that, because I've done that for years. I would think of everything, and I still do it. I would think, oh, I got this done, I got this done, and then I'd have to bounce from one project to the next project, to the next thing, to the next emergency, and you get completely exhausted and you get completely overwhelmed. And to just give yourself those five, that every day something has to step you closer to those five. I was amazed once I sat down and actually started figuring out how much focus it gave me, that even all dealing with all this little stuff all ties to those five in some way. So they are steps on the road, because by having live sales, that's step to financial stability. That's step to getting Tosh, this overstuffed house, in a more business-like manner. It's also a step towards paying for the roof, or paying for whatever it needs to be paid for, whether it's the taxes on the house, it's the bills, it's that's all ties to that financially stable part, which is the number 5 one. So so I look at it as like, hey, you know what? I'm doing this, and I shouldn't be frustrated by this, because going through these boxes, this is helping with number 1, number 2, and number 3 on that, and number 5 on that list. So I've really had it so far, and I know we're only a few days into the year, but when I heard this, I heard it the day after Christmas. Because to me, my year ends, I guess it's from all the decades of working in retail. My year ends with Christmas Day, because that's all, everything's all geared up for, and in retail, and then you're kind of worn out by then. And so your next year is already starting to plan in those days after Christmas. Forget New Year's. In retail world, you're starting to plan stuff the week after Christmas. So if you're thinking of how to plan out your coming year, maybe that's your thing for this week. Take a thought, and that maybe you pick your 5, because I did, and it's actually, healthcare aside, and when you're sitting there in a waiting room for 13 and a half hours, you got plenty of time to think. And I actually did the crossword puzzle that was in the local little town talk, which is a little tiny newspaper that was there. I was so bored. Out of an entire crossword puzzle, I did pretty well, because there were only 8 things I had to cheat and look up the answer for. I did pretty darn well for that for once. But when you have 12 hours to work on it with nothing else to do, you have a lot of time to think and a lot of time to work on that puzzle. And then blessedly, now that was actually, I think, the first 8 hours, because then blessedly Gary came over with my phone charger and a book. And I told him I didn't care, just find any book. So he brought me one of the ones. I said, just walk in the playroom. The first book you see right there on the floor, any book out of that box. No, he went way over here and had to stretch to get it. Got one of the books that was supposed to go onto eBay. So I'm reading a book from 1911 called That Printer of Udell's, which is turning out to be quite a nice story. So I've got 128 pages to go, and then I'll be done, because I read most of it. So, well, hello, Randy. You come in just as I'm saying goodbye, saying goodnight for the night. You missed getting to see a few of the kittens too, but you're at work. That's why my lives start at 11 o'clock at night, because when I started, I was still working at Wawa. So I would work until 10 o'clock at night, race home to be in this chair, ready to roll at 11 o'clock at night for the lives. So that's all right, Randy. You can watch it on the repeat. You can see the creepy Charlotte doll, the frozen Charlotte. Wait, where'd she go? We can show Randy the creepy doll. Ooh, look at those eyes. I mean, as a frozen Charlotte, she's beautiful, because all those lines are in the mold. I mean, she is incredibly detailed, but they screwed up those eyes, man. That paint job on those eyes, she looks like her eyes have rolled into the back of her head. She's coming to get your soul. So she is just something else. But she has sold. So little creepy is getting out of my house. So you have a good time at work. We can start at 2 a.m. Eastern while you're on your break. Yeah, there was a time when my sales would go 3 or 4 hours, but with the back issue, that's not always going to happen, and definitely not happening now. Besides, it's 2 a.m. I have to go eat my salad and take my pain meds for my back, for my spine, so, and get some sleep. Get some sleep, because I've strained my back a bit. I went over, since it was 60 degrees yesterday. It was 58 degrees today, and the rain hadn't started. So I quick got over to the vegetable garden because I knew there were still carrots over there. None of them were very big. I think the biggest one was maybe as big around as my thumb, and the longest one was maybe 4 inches, but I knew they were still over there. So I wanted to get the last of my carrots out of the garden while I could. But bending over um, just aggravated a lot. So, and sitting here and dealing with he's sleeping at my feet now instead of attacking my shoes. Yeah, it's no fun. It's no fun. So, and I still think I'm kind of tired, worn out from all that time in the ER the other day. That's ridiculous being in there for 13 and a half hours, especially when the first 12 you'd never been taken to the back. Once they got me in the back, got me in that CAT scan, they couldn't get rid of me fast enough once they got that test result back. So, you don't want her in your house either. Oh, I'm not Catholic. I don't have any holy water to like, bless the box I put her in to keep her trapped in there. Oh, Tammy. Well, she won't stay in your house long. She'll be going to the person that you're going to give her to. Oh my goodness. That is so fun. There's a movie too coming out that's about some doll. It's supposed to be some robot kind of doll that's supposed to take care of and protect the girl. And then, of course, it gets all creepy from there. But it's like, why does the doll sound like Scarlett Johansson? I don't know. But all right, guys. Well, yeah, I'll put a cross sticker on it. I'll see if I have one. I don't know. I don't should I put a little clove of garlic in with it because or is that just with the vampires? Because the old school folklore of to kill a vampire was a stake through the heart. You had to decapitate it, and then you had to. I don't know how they did this, but then you were supposed to stuff the head with garlic. Like how? What? The only thing that's there is to like shove it in their mouth. Oh yeah, that thing is a scary looking little thing. Think that's just the vampires? Yeah. I love books on old folklore. I absolutely love it. I'm still trying to get my hands on an unedited Grimm's fairy tales because what we read now has been greatly cleaned up because a lot of those fairy tales were very graphic and very bloody. And that is absolutely not what our kids are reading now. And my great aunts had an old copy that was fantastic and gory and fun. And there was some hostility among the adults. So Annie Al was throwing things away, and the old books got thrown away, and we didn't know. So all those books I read as a kid are gone, and that was one of the ones, man, I wish I still had because they were so much fun. So, well, if you want me to, Tammy, you just shoot me an email. You can shoot me an email and let me know. I'm pretty sure I have her address. Um, so you can just let me know if you want me to do it, and I can do that. I can take care of that. No, I'm not going to offer to do that part because I don't have the tools or the wood. I was going to say, do you want me to make a little coffin for it? But I don't have any balsa wood. I don't have the wood to do it with. I don't have the right tools. Make a little tiny coffin for it. Oh, that would be icing on the cake, wouldn't it? but I don't have any balsam wood to make one. On that creepy note, oh, next time I find another one like that, man. Wouldn't that be funny? A little tiny little, like the old school kind of coffins where it's tapered at the feet. That would be funny. All right, guys, have a good night. I'm gonna go get my salad and take my naproxen for my back, and I'm gonna hit the hay myself. And I will see you next week for a live. I do want to get back to where I do those live work with me's on Sunday, but we need to find out what's going on with the pain in my back first, because that's different from the spine pain. That's why I was in the ER. So I'm not sure what kind of work with me I'd be able to do. So, but I'm hoping to make more videos now that I have a camera that I can actually film with. So soak the pine wood in garlic water. Might be safer with holy water. Go over to St. Robert. Oh wait, it's not called St. Robert's anymore. It's called St. Catherine Drexel now, the Catholic church near me. Why her? She's not from this area. She's not from Chester. She's nowhere near from Chester. She's from up near the main line. So why couldn't you name the church up in the main line, like where she lived? No, they named it down here. But all the locals, we still call it St. Robert's because, you know, old local names die hard. Go over there and get some water out of the font. The holy water font by the door. Oh, that's funny. So, all right. Well, have a good night, guys, and I will see you next week. With a live chat. We'll figure something out to do. I have been thinking about if I can, now I have a camera to film, I might, because this would take more than one sitting to do. We're not doing this as one live, but I found the Christmas wish book from 1980. Now it's missing like the back cover and a page. They're there, but they're not attached to the back cover. But I might alternate and do premieres where I do some of that, and then we watch it as a premiere. That might be fun to do, and do those on the off weeks. Because I've got a couple of vintage craft catalogs and stuff, and that I've wanted to do that with, and do films. So get some of those out of the way. So, all right. So have a good night, everybody, and I will see you when I see you. If I don't get something posted, it's, you know, it's me taking care of myself and trying to find the doctors I need to find with my insurance, to find out what this new problem is and make sure it's not anything super dangerous. We already know it's not the kidneys, so that's great. That is so great to know it's not that, and that the kidneys look good. I mean, there's only a little weird spot on one, but the other looks good and healthy. And after being on naproxen 24/7 for a solid year and hydrochloroquine, both of them, that's one of the risks, is it could do kidney damage. To find out the kidneys are good, that's great news, even if it did mean 13 and a half hours in the ER. So, so I will see you guys next week if you don't see me in some video before then. Good night, everybody.